Welcome back to the channel, you guys. This is Jay from Team DMA. I'm gonna be discussing something regarding the ban list, and then we're gonna be taking a look at what people are doing in their decks, and it's gonna be related to branded fusion because the ban list hit. I didn't want to really make a video about it because, as you guys already know, people who watch my channel, and I appreciate all the subscribers, the likes, and the comments. And I don't really play like meta or top tier decks, so none of the ban lists ever affect me. If they do, it's just a few cards, and I just replace them for other cards that do the same thing, so it usually never affects me. But I started playing Dark Magician branded. So if you guys know how I play my decks, I try to play them pure Dark Magician because I believe this isn't against anything against anyone. Like, everybody plays their own decks, but a lot of people attack a lot of like famous YouTubers or famous certain deck players because they're not really that deck anymore. It's something else. So I'll show an example. Like, for example, a Dark Magician branded, it sounds good, but then when they dissect the deck and they show you the profile, it's just one Dark Magician, and that's all it is, because they're trying to cheat out Dragoon. So it's like, oh, you're like, oh, okay, so it's not a Dark Magician. It's not a Dark Magician deck, because a lot of people like to say that, and then when you dissect the deck, like some of the decks that I've seen that are competitive, they'll have one Dark Magician, 3 Magician Souls, and that's it. Some of them have 2 Illusion of Chaos. That's it for the Dark Magician deck, and people are catching on. They're like, okay, that's not a Dark Magician deck, and it's true. And this isn't just Dark Magician, it can be any other deck as well. They're not really the deck anymore. It's just splashed a bunch of engines, and to be honest with you, when you look at the duels, it's not Dark Magician at all, because Dark Magician doesn't do anything. It doesn't help you, and people are leaving Dark Magician because they can't compete with the meta. They can't compete with top tier decks. And to be honest, I've been playing Dark Magician all my life. Ever since Yu-Gi-Oh started, I played Dark Magician from the very beginning, and you know, during the Teledad era and all that. And as you guys already know, I came back to play Dark Magician again, like in 2019, and then I just started destroying all sorts of decks, and then I kind of went away because I've been busy, but I started playing again, and I started playing Dark Magician branded, and I saw the ban list, and branded is going to be put to 1. So for Dark Magician branded players that are like typical normal Dark Magician players, they don't even need branded. They won't even play. Even if branded was like taken off, like it was forbidden, you can't play any branded, they'll still play it because it's not Dark Magician, it's mainly branded. So branded doesn't need the branded deck doesn't need branded fusion. It sounds stupid, but it's true. You don't even need it. You don't need any of those copies. And they just add a bunch of other branded monsters, and it pushes out the Dark Magician deck, and it's just full branded. And people will lie and tell you, oh, it's a Dark Magician branded, when in reality it's not. Because when you see their boards, you see them dueling, you see them getting negated, destroyed, or they're playing, there's no Dark Magician cards on the board. They don't play Circle, they don't play Eternal, they don't play anything that says Dark Magician. You'll just splash 1 or 2 cards or a few cards just to say, but it's not in reality. So this picture here says a lot. A lot of the community with Dark Magician, the main people that are in Dark Magician that are leaving the Dark Magician deck, like they're leaving Yu-Gi-Oh and quitting Dark Magician. You can see their channel. They're not playing against the meta. They're not playing against top tier. They've stopped doing that for about a year. They're playing other things. They're playing like Pokemon and a bunch of other stuff they're playing, but they're not playing Yu-Gi-Oh. And one of those reasons is because the Dark Magician most famous deck, and I've always said it, and it is true, is the Dark Magician Turbo, and that's the weakest Dark Magician deck. So that's the most popular, and that's the weakest. And it loses to Draw, it loses to Ash, it loses to a lot of cards, a lot of the hand traps, it loses to Shifter, it basically loses to everything. It loses to everything. If you activate anything that stops you from special summoning or activating effects or using your extra deck, they lose. It's an auto loss. if their cards are stopped, like they're playing, because right now the current meta how it is, you're having to go through 4 to like 10 negates per turn or interruptions, a mixture. And I've been counting like the negations and interruptions per like duel, and I'm taking an average of 10, and the max is 15 per turn. And that's why a lot of people are not posting those duels no more. They lie to you. And I've always been sincere, honest. In fact, in my duels, you can see me taking a lot of negations, like 6 to 8 negations in one turn. Sometimes I'll win, sometimes I'll lose, and I'll post it. You guys get to see it. And it just shows you the reality of what's really going on, not these fake channels that are posting all their cards resolved. Like, I go to a lot of channels, like famous and non-famous, and what they do is they'll play all their cards, they fill their board, and then they'll show their win. And that's definitely a fake player, because in reality, you should play all your cards and they should be all negated and interrupted. And then from all that, you should still set up a board, still play through it. And then a lot of people, when they play against like really competitive or powerful decks, their top deck is trash. Like, they draw a few cards, they can't do nothing. And I try to do it that my top deck is always live. That's why my decks work pretty good, and I don't brick a lot. Now sometimes with this deck, and we'll be taking a look at it real quick and ending the video, but any day of the week or any day of the year or any day overall, I've always take Branded Fusion over Red Eyes Fusion, because Red Eyes Fusion, they can stop it with everything, and then that's all you have. You have to set some cards face down, and they usually don't have any good cards face down, and they just end their turn, and it's an auto loss. With Dark Magician Branded, it's not true, because I have a lot of videos where I take 6 to 8 negates per turn, like in the same turn. That doesn't even include the other 8 or 10 that I'm going to take in the rest of the game. And I still survive. I still win some duels, and that's with the Dark Magician Branded. So I'm actually proud of my build, because it's pure Dark Magician. It just has Splash Branded in it, so it plays really good. It can out any board. And going second, it's a different deck, because the traps are changed to board breakers, and a lot more evenly matches and lightning storms. So it has a higher chance of winning going second. But going first, we're going to be taking a look at it. But just real quick recap before we go to the profile. Branded Fusion is better any day than Red Eyes Fusion, because Red Eyes Fusion is one Dragoon, and a lot of the famous YouTubers and non-famous, the large community of Dragoon Turbo lovers, which is almost everyone. If you follow a Dark Magician channel, they're more likely Dragoon Turbo. What they like to show is they play Turbo and it resolves, and then they'll play Dragoon and then they'll win, and that's not the reality. That's not the reality. Dragoon is trash to top tier players, and then the Red Eyes Fusion shouldn't even be resolving. So they're lying to you. So all they usually do is set a few cards, pass, and then they lose. Those are the real duels. But you ever wonder why they never show you those duels? And then when you bring up, do you have any duels where you take Ash or Draw or Shifter, and they won't respond to you? They don't have none of those duels, because they can't win. They can't win against win against that. So here's the profile. So the deck is pretty good. It's not top tier, but it's super fun to play, and I've been beating a lot of decks with it. It's pure Dark Magician with some Splash Branded, and if you can see in the extra deck, I took away the spellbook engine, and I replaced it with a few other cards in the deck, including Palladium Oracle Mahad for the extra draw, and I only play one Albaz, and because it recycles it back. I was playing 2, but to be honest, I never needed it. I never needed it, because I just send it back. And then the deck is mainly Dark Magician, so I don't even need it to begin with. Like, I could play with all the other cards in the deck. Doesn't stall, it's not waiting for nothing. It can maneuver through boards. I could do a lot of things. And usually I'll play a lot of cards, and once they negate and blow everything up, then I'll play the evenly match at the end. This is the main deck. This is how I play it going first every time. When I go second, I take out all the traps, and they become board breakers. Like I'll play Feather I'll play the Lightning Storm, and I'll play more evenly matches, and I break the board. I break the board like that, and then once I break the board, then I play the deck, and it does very, very, very good. But going second, you can't play like this because there's a lot of dead cards here. I also increased the number of super polys to 2 or 3, it depends, and I win a lot of duels. But going first, this is what I go through, and you can see on my channel that I take a lot of negates. I play one card, it's negated, play another, it's negated, play a third, and then I'm on my 6th negation. And on the 8th move that I do, because cards stay in the field, I can still link, or cards go to the graveyard and they trigger effects, and I can keep up. I can keep up, and I can win some duels. I don't win them all because right now Yu-Gi-Oh is very, very strong, very powerful. It's been like that for like a year and a half, but people are just barely recognizing it. That's why a lot of people are leaving Yu-Gi-Oh. They can't handle it no more. A lot of people are tired of faking it. You know how you say fake it till you make it? A lot of people can't do it no more. They're just leaving. They're leaving because they can't do it no more. So yeah, this is the build. You can see it there. I don't want to discuss much about it. It's self-explanatory, but 2 servant is enough. I've never needed more. When you have 3 and you're playing against top tier decks and you're getting like 6 negates, 8 negates, the soul servant does nothing. It doesn't help you. So I don't want to see it that much. I just want to see it if I want to search it. And then I usually play the deck normally, and at the end I play the branded fusion, and it'll resolve. And when people negate the cards, it doesn't matter at all because I'm using links or XYZs, or I'm fusing them, and doing other plays and establishing negates on the boards to fight back, and going through the hand traps and all that. That's another thing I like about this deck. If you play branded, you should know you're not affected by shifter. You're not affected by anything that's removed for play, because when you bring out the dragons for the fusion that I have here, they get removed, and then it brings them back from play, and it sends them back to your deck. So you're not affected at all. Like, they played the card, but they're only under shifter. You're not. You play fully normally. Like, it doesn't affect you at all, and it's broken. I like that. And when I play my AC 130, it affects me a little bit, but I'm gonna be honest, I don't get to play a lot of my monsters and a lot of my effects because the shifter stops it, so I'm limited. But with this branded fusion, it doesn't really matter. I play all my regular cards, they negate it, and I'm going through negations on top of the shifter, and it doesn't really do anything. I just go onto the branded and I start putting out monsters on the field, and the materials go back into my deck. Also, I like it that I can send Dark Mission to the graveyard, and then with branded fusion, when I make the fusion, when I have to send back a Dark Mission and Albas back to the deck, I can send the one on the field, not the graveyard. So that leaves the one in the graveyard ready to use with the Circle and Eternal, or with any sort of other combo that I can bring it back on the board with, like a Circle or any combo that I want to do. And the deck has very, very powerful, nothing that I don't need, and the extra deck. And with the branded fusion, I can easily in one turn bring the Dragoon with the Dragon Knight in the same turn and have more monsters on the field. Usually my field ends up with a Chaos Angel, Dragoon, and Dragon Knight, and I have a bunch of other negates, so people can't break the board anymore. Even top tier decks, once it establishes the board, it's useless. Like, they kaiju it doesn't work. They use evenly matched, that doesn't work. They use the Storm, they use Super Poly, they use Dark Ruler No More. None of those cards work because the right hand negates them all. So there's no cards that they can draw, any combos that they can do to open the board. So once the board is up, it's a wrap. It's game over. Sometimes I purposely prolong it to make people surrender. If you've seen my channel, I usually don't like to win. I just like people to surrender so they can get what it feels like, how they bully people. And this is supposed to be a budget deck, and the deck is not even completed yet, so I wanted to show it because branded is gonna be at 1. So yeah, branded is gonna be at 1, so I'm playing 2 Alubers right now to replace it, because once you play branded, you don't have more branded. So I can play like Kid or other cards that can bring it back, but in reality I don't want to play that one card because it's gonna make me brick. So I don't want the deck to brick. So it's just a one-time use for the branded. That's the way I'm gonna be playing it, and the deck, everything else plays normally. You're not affected. It's just gonna be a one-time use for branded. You can also use Albaz as a branded fusion, because when he comes out you can use another dark monster and make branded. So that's why I put the second branded fusion monster, so you can still utilize it at 2. If I increase the number of Albaz, that's gonna change the deck, and it's not gonna be as consistent. Now the only time it's not consistent is if you draw like Palladium or Kamuha in the beginning, but you have other cards to discard, or you have Illusion of Chaos to send it back to the deck. And you can set up a nasty board, a lot of monsters, and your opponent can't deal with them all. And there's a lot of ways to negate them from destroying your back row. And with Dragonite, yeah, it's pretty strong. It's super fun. I can't believe I didn't finish trying it before, but I'm happy I did now. You can see the duels. Like, don't believe me what I say, go see the duels. And I beat almost every deck. The only deck that I've been struggling to beat is Snake Eyes. But other than that, I've beat every other deck, and I have duels showing you. I think the deck that I was trying to get rid of recently was Tempai, because I was struggling a bit, but I got rid of Tempai as well with this profile. And I just set the super poly, or there can only be one, and it's like an auto, because once they summon the dragons I already know what to get rid of the field, or there can only be one stopping it. I usually go at that point, I push to go towards a Dragoon with there can only be one, and I negate anything that would break the board. And they're basically, they have their hands are full, their field is, the back row is full, but they can't really out anything because everything's frozen. So they just surrender, and it's funny. And it's a great deck. It's super fun. If you guys want to try it, when the 2 branded fusion are taking off with this new ban list coming up, you can switch to Lubers, or you can switch to something else. People that are playing the regular Dark Magician branded, they don't even play branded. There's no branded in the deck. They're playing a bunch of other cards because you don't really need branded. But I'm trying to play a pure Dark Magician, and I'm trying to substitute the branded for Red Eyes Fusion. And like I said, branded fusion is better any days than Red Eyes Fusion. If you see someone playing Red Eyes Fusion, you know they're eventually gonna quit playing Dark Magician because they're not gonna win any duels, and then also they're gonna lose to all the hand traps. So you'll never see them duel against a lot of negations and none of their cards resolving because they can't win. This deck can go through a lot of negates, a lot of interruptions, and still win a duel. It's really, really strong for being pure. Now, I'm not gonna lie, like I said, sometimes you do get a semi-break. You get a semi-break of a hand, but you can still make it work because it's still pure Dark Magician. And here's an example what people are playing of what I was talking about, that you don't really need branded fusion at all. The branded players are not even playing it. Nobody's playing it. They're not playing the card. And they're just using the Quem and the Cartesia, and they're using a lot of other ways, and they're just fusing everything. And I know I can add that to the Dark Magician like every other Dark Magician branded player, but what it does is it takes out more Dark Magician cards. It takes out more Dark Magician cards, and then you have multiple normals, and it doesn't work out, and you start breaking. That's why a deck like this of Bestial with branded, it works good, it's strong, and it has Horus, and that's something that I wanted to try. I wanted to try Dark Magician Horus Bestial. I play Bestial, but I play a small number. I just play one. I was playing 2, but I took 1 out, and it plays good because the Magna Hut can return any dragon, even your fusion monsters or anything that's a dragon. It can bring it back. So it's a great asset, and then it puts an extra body on the field and lets you recycle anything you need, and it doesn't brick you. And that's pretty neat. That's pretty much it for the video. And I hope it didn't come out as a rant, because I wasn't really ranting. I was just saying the truth, that branded fusion over Red Eyes Fusion any day is better. And then so it's the Red Eyes, the ref versus the branded, and the branded wins any day, because the Red Eyes Fusion loses to all the hand traps, and that's all they're gonna do anyways, right? Because it's Red Eyes Fusion pass. It's one Dragoon. You can't do it. You can't summon more monsters. Branded is not like that. Branded, you summon a bunch of monsters, and your opponent has to stop all of that. And then, even if it stops it, it doesn't matter because at the end you play Branded Fusion, and then you put out a board. So, there's nothing they can do, and that's what I've been seeing. So Branded Fusion any day over Red Eyes Fusion, it's a lot better, it's a lot stronger. And then if you want to go full Dark Magician Branded, you're going to go away from Dark Magician. I guarantee you, you're not even going to play Branded Fusion. So yeah, this is just a nice little deck. You can try it. It's really fun. It can win a lot of duels if you know how to play it correctly. It has a lot of combos. It can play through all the hand traps, through the shifter. It's so cool. I like it a lot. I can't believe I didn't try it before. And with that, I'm going to end the video, and then I'm going to be uploading this deck in action one last time. And people are going to say, why one last time? Because with the one Branded Fusion, I might not play it anymore. I might switch over to a Branded Horus Dark Magician. So you guys let me know if you want to see that. And basically, I'm going to be relying more on the Horus, and then Branded is going to be backing it up, and it's going to have Dark Magician. Obviously, like I said, I'm going to have to take some Dark Magician cards out, but it depends on what the people want. If you guys want to see it, I'll build it. But here it is. Here's the deck. Here's the profile. Have fun. And the new version is with 2 Alubers. You can add other things to it, but the consistency, it messes with it. And some of those cards are one-time use, and you can use Abbas, like I said before, also as a fusion. So it's like you have 2 Branded Fusion. So that's going to be it for the video. Hopefully you like it. If you have any questions or concerns, let me know. Make sure you see all the videos and then on the poll drive, because we're going to be having a giveaway. I've just been waiting. I've been really busy. And usually what I do a poll drive review. And then after that, the next video, I start selecting people for the giveaway. Thanks a lot for all the support, all the subscribers. I've been seeing a lot of subscribers coming on by. Blessings. Thank you. If you have any questions or concerns or comments, put them down on the comment section. Let me know. With that being said, Dark Magic Attack.